If you treat your agent relationship or finding an agent as though you work for them and they hold all of the power over whether or not you get to be successful in your career, then this episode today is for you. Today, we reset, we reshift that power imbalance. Oh, I am so glad you have found this. Let's get into it. This is the Empowered Actors Podcast. I am your host, Adele James. And this is how you build a successful acting career that lasts decades, not just until you book your next job. Hello, welcome back. This is season 1, episode 3 of the Empowered Actors Podcast. And I'm so glad that you are here. And today we are having a big and very important conversation about probably the most important teammate you will recruit, at least professionally, while you are an actor. And I say teammate singular, but I also want to just remind everybody that, yeah, you'll have like one agent or maybe like a team of agents at a time, but you also might have a few agents across your career. I am on agent number 4 and very happy with my agent. Very, very happy with my agent. In fact, every agent that I had at the time, for the most part, I was very happy with. So we're going to get into all of the things, but today I really, really want to talk to you, yes, about agents. And the question that is on everybody's lips, like I mean it when I say I don't think I've met a single actor who has not asked the question, am I with the right agent? Am I with the right agent? I really like my agent as a person, or I'm not sure about my agent as a person, or I'm not sure if I'm getting the right amount of auditions, or I'm not sure if I'm getting into the right rooms. Am I with the right person? If you can't see me because you're listening to this on audio, I'm doing quotation marks every time I say the word right. So, how do you find your soulmate agent? What is a soulmate agent? That is what we're getting into today. Now, first and foremost, I think we need to talk about why the question is even coming up in the first place. Why do you struggle so much with whether or not your agent is quote unquote right for you? And I think really the biggest reason is that somewhere along the way we have learned and we reinforce amongst ourselves, so amongst other actors, we have learned and reinforced that an agent equals the solution. I'm not moving up, therefore I need to have an agent, any agent, in order to keep moving forward. Now, for lots of reasons, that is not the case. Yes, an agent can be very helpful in strategically planning, in networking on your behalf and expanding your network, in getting you into rooms that you've not been able to get yourself into up until this point, and they are not the only solution. And yet that seems to be the prevailing idea, that an agent is the solution. Then we have the belief around this idea that if I cannot find an agent, or I'm with an agent and they don't feel like the right agent for me, they feel like it's not working out, it's not aligned, like maybe it started off well, but it's just not going that well anymore, or maybe it never started off well and it's continuously been a disaster. Either way, if I can't find the right agent or I'm not with the right agent, then there must be something wrong with me. It must be something I am doing. It must be something about me that the right agent for me or the best agents out there wouldn't be interested in me because of XYZ, right? And then additionally, we've got this thought process of I need an agent. I need any agent versus I need to find the agent who is right for me, who is right for the needs of my career, who is the best person for me to partner with. So I think really what I'm saying is that step 1 is absolutely going to be changing how you think about your agent relationship. And listen, this applies whether you have an agent right now or you have no agent, or you have an agent but you're looking for a new agent. We all can do some cleaning up on our side of the street of how we think about this relationship, because I've seen plenty of relationships improve because of the way that actors are approaching their agent relationships with people that they're already with. I've also seen plenty of relationships become so abundantly clear that they are not right for the actor in question, and to see those relationships fall away. And really in that scenario, Everybody wins. In fact, in both of those scenarios, everybody wins. Whether your agent relationship with your current agent improves or whether the agent relationship you currently have falls away and is replaced by one that's better for you in your career at this stage that you're at now. Either way, it's a win-win all round, right? Everybody is not being rubbed up against for feeling like they are to blame for your career not being what you want it to be. Because it's actually not anybody's fault. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. Sometimes, with the best will in the world, we will enter into a partnership and we will think and hope and pray and believe that this is going to be the one that changes everything. And for some reason, or for many reasons, as the case often is, it just doesn't work out. And you know what? That doesn't mean anything about you personally as a human being, nor does it mean anything about your career. It doesn't mean anything about your talent. It doesn't mean anything about your skill or what is possible for you. It just means that that relationship isn't the right relationship for you both. So having said all of that, I think a really important reframe to begin with is that, hi my love, super quick cutaway. I just wanted to remind you, in case you haven't already, to please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcast, just because one, I don't want you to miss a beat, and two, it really helps us to get further reach so that more actors know that there is help out there, so that I can help support more actors. I would be so grateful for your help on this mission. And if you feel so inclined, why not give us a cheeky rating too? We'd love 5 stars, but whatever you feel is right is good too. Mwah! Thank you so much. Shall we get back into the episode? Let's go. An agent relationship is a professional business partnership. It is a business partnership. What do I mean by that? Your agent is not your friend. I am very friendly with my agent. I enjoy my agent so very much. I think he's such a wonderful human being. And we are very friendly with one another, but we both understand that it is a business relationship first and foremost. And while a friendship may have grown from that, and we can be friendly with each other, the nature of our relationship as agent and client, you see how I put us on the same level there? The nature of the relationship as agent and client is a professional relationship, meaning our friendship can outlast whatever length of time our relationship will be as a business partnership. Although, Sam, if you're watching this or listening to this, please know I don't want you to go anywhere and I hope we work together forever and ever and ever. But while our friendliness, our friendship can outlast the length of the business relationship, it is a business relationship. And therefore, if it doesn't serve the needs of my business, which is my acting career, it's actually just not the right business partnership, right? And so I think sometimes we get a bit muddied between like the personal and the professional. It is not a personal relationship. And if you do have a personal relationship with your agent, you need to learn, both of you, to compartmentalize that, because it's not appropriate, above anything else, to treat your professional career as though it were a personal engagement or with the lens through which you treat your personal relationships. That's not appropriate. That's not accurate, right? We treat our business with the lens of the needs of the business, understanding what the business needs and making sure that you are fulfilling those needs. And we treat the personal as personal. They're different. With that in mind, the thing I really want you to think about, the thing I really want you to internalize, the thing I really want you to understand, to get comfy with, is this. You are not chosen by an agent. You do the choosing. You do the choosing. Yes, an agent has a list, right? So they don't just represent you, they represent multiple people. And you can probably see some patterns, you can probably see some genres, some styles of performer, of actor, of creative within that. And also, you are the only person responsible for managing your career. You're the only person who is responsible for the journey from beginning to middle to end. Remember, we're trying to build a decades-long career, not just get you to your next job. You need to be able to keep going long term, and an agent can be a really helpful asset in that journey, on that journey. But fundamentally, they are what? Representation of you, the business owner, you also the business. They represent you. They need to be the person that you feel is going to be best for you, not the other way around. You're not here trying to build up an agent's career. You are here to find people, to find a network, to find a team, to find whatever it is to help build up your career. So this is partly what I meant in episode 1 when I was saying it's your responsibility to build up your career, to take responsibility for your career. This is one of the things you might do. You might assess your current agent relationship or lack thereof and figure out, what is it that I actually need? And you choose an agent off of the back of that. I know your brain is probably going, well, how can I choose someone if no one will reply to my emails? Or how can I choose someone if I only have X amount of options? Here is where I would like to liken the agent search to dating. What do I mean by that? There is no intimacy involved. There is no romance. There is no none of that. But there are a lot of similarities between an agent relationship and a client relationship, or a business partnership of actually any kind, and a romantic partnership, in the sense that you're looking for what? Someone who believes in you, someone who gets you, someone whose communication style you can actually get on board with, someone who respects you, someone who advocates for you, who is excited to talk about you, who wants to shout from the rooftops that they are a part of your world. We don't go onto like dating websites and apps begging people to go out with us. And yet so many people enter into searching for representation, and then once they have found representation into every communication with their agent, treading on eggshells and worried that any little thing that they might say or do is going to get them dumped, dropped, fired, abandoned, whatever. It's all the same thing. And if you've treated your romantic relationships like that in the past, you'll know it doesn't work very well. And if you're treating your agent relationship like that now, you'll also know not only does it not work very well, it doesn't feel good. And remember, this whole time I've been saying, your career building, every aspect of that, from building your team and working with your team, to choosing the jobs that you do, to fulfilling the jobs, to doing your auditions, to all of it, gets to feel good because it does. You don't have to earn it feeling good. And actually, the better it feels, the more effective you are in the running of it all and the executing of it all and the living and experiencing of it all, the better your work is, the better work you get to do, the better life you have. And you've never needed to earn having a good life. So if all of this is in service of you having a great life, I think that's a pretty good reason to rethink the way that you strategize and approach agents. So on a practical level, why don't we talk a bit about how to actually choose an agent? Again, I'm going to mirror the dating process, not because I want you to do anything untoward with any agent ever, but because there are a lot of similarities that will be helpful. So when you go through the dating process, you think about what you want. You think about what your vision is for your future. You think, how do I like to be spoken to? What are my needs? What are the things that I enjoy doing? What are the things I would like to be supported with, in, and by? While you might be expressing a need for different needs and a different vision, I think the core really remains the same. What do you want? What do you want to do short term? What do you want to do long term? What do you know you are made to do? What do you know you are great at? But even if you haven't yet been given the chance to do it, get really clear on your vision. We talked about this in episode 1. Get really clear on your vision. It's very hard to articulate a vision that has absolutely no depth and no clarity. It's very, very hard. And if you can't articulate it, they can't give it to you. You don't want to be trying to build and fulfill someone else's vision for your career. You want to do your own. And it's much easier for someone to help you build on that. And it's also much easier for you to find someone who is right for that particular vision if you are clear on the vision. So clarity on the vision is a must. And clarity on your needs is another one. And this is a hard one for people, because I would imagine that you have had the thought that if you are too needy, if your needs are too big, too much, that it's going to jeopardize you having a healthy relationship, it's going to jeopardize you having a successful relationship, it's going to make you off-putting or annoying. If you've ever felt like that anywhere in your life, this is an area where this is going to suddenly feel like it has been exacerbated so much. So I really want you to work on knowing what your needs are, but also allowing yourself to be a person who has needs, who needs to be communicated in a certain way, who needs to only do this kind of work because you have this kind of lifestyle or family setup or whatever it might be, who only needs to be considered for XYZ for XYZ reasons. It doesn't really matter. But if you are lying or you are kind of stretching the truth around what you really need, the only person who loses out is you. But actually, I would argue that the agent loses out as well, because how can they represent you fully when they aren't representing the real you? You know, one thing I love about my agent, and I really love this about my agent, is that he treats me like a human being and I treat him like a human being, and it works really well for us. It works really well for us. But what I mean by that is, we actually had a conversation on the phone very recently about a job that I was being asked about my availability for. So I hadn't got the job, I hadn't actually auditioned for the job yet, but they wanted to availability check me and see if it was something I would be interested in doing. And I said to my agent, I would like to know what you think, because I think you know me quite well by now. And to cut a long story short, I was also in talks for a different job. So 2 jobs at the same time. I was actually kind of leaning towards the job that we were discussing, but I already had another job that was basically offered to me. We hadn't signed a contract or anything, but it was pretty much set in stone. And he said to me, from what I know of you, and do you know what, the rest doesn't even matter, but he said to me, from what I know of you, I think you will be happiest doing this, and I think you will resent doing this. I think you will enjoy it for 5 minutes and then you will still be doing it XYZ months down the line, and I think you will resent it. And as I said, everything that it doesn't even matter what the details were, but everything he said after, from what I know of you, it just really meant so much to me, because I think that's it. I really think that's the whole thing. It's like, how can you represent me if you don't know me? And it takes time to get to know someone, right? Like, I've been with my current agent for 3 years. 3 years. And in that time, there have been a lot of times where I've said, no, I don't want to do this, or here's what I'm thinking about this. What do you think about this? You know, because don't get me wrong, like, I love to say no when something's not aligned. I love to exercise my autonomy. I think it's important that I get to do what I want to a degree. And I also do not accept that, or I do not believe that I am right about everything and I know everything, and that I cannot also still be guided, right? And I trust him. I think that's another big one, is I really trust his opinion and I trust his expertise and I trust his view of the industry, which is not my view of the industry. I have a very small view of the industry by comparison, although larger than most actors because of the coaching work that I do. But anyway, it's taken me a long time and 4 agents now, 3 other agents and him, to find someone who I really think gets me and can actually advise me based on what they know of me and not just what they think, you know, and not just what their view of the industry is and of the world is and what they would do in my situation. Because also, let's be honest, like, you're not in my situation and you're not going to be in my situation because you're an agent. You're an agent. Whether you used to act or not, like, none of it matters. You're not in my situation. We don't have the same family set up. We don't live in the same place. We're not even the same gender. We're not the same race. We're not the same age. Like, you could not possibly know what I want as though you were me, but you can advise me based on what you know of me, and that is a beautiful thing. I actually talk a lot more about my agent and how he and I navigate my career in the private membership, the outtakes. You should absolutely join it if you want to hear more about how I navigate agenting from my own personal career standpoint and how it's changed over the years. You should definitely get into the outtakes. The link is below this video, below this audio. You can go ahead and sign yourself up and you'll get every single audio drop that has been released already and every audio drop that comes going forward. And it's just me taking you backstage behind the scenes of my in real time journey of being an actor and all the insights and learnings that come with that. But back to the point at hand, we're talking about you. You need to be clear on your vision. You need to be clear on your mission. You need to be clear on how and where someone can position you, not sell you. I really don't like this idea of you being sold like a bag of fruit or something. You're not a bag of fruit. You're a person with skill and talent. So enough of that. But you do need to know how and where someone would position you, how you would position yourself, so that you can at least start the conversation, so that somebody has something to feed into, right? Because remember, they're representing you. They're not dictating your career for you. And then beyond that, I think you really want to think about approaching finding an agent or improving your current agent relationship on the basis that they are a human being. You are a human being and they are also a human being who has needs and interests and a life and dreams and fears and all of the in-between. They're a person. They're a person, they're a person, they're a person. And within that, you are looking for a person, not an agency. I'm not looking to be signed by Intertalent. I'm looking to be signed by Sam Day. I'm not looking to be signed by Independent or by United or by Olivia Bell or by Jonathan Aaron. I'm looking to be signed by a human being within an agency who sees me, who gets me, who's going to fight for me, who's going to love me. That's what's really important. That's what you're looking for. And if you've already got an agent, it's about how do I embolden and empower that human being to be all of those things for me? And how do I do my part in the relationship as well to embolden and empower myself? Really important, because they're not your mum, they're not your therapist. And that's often a boundary that I think is crossed, and it shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be in any professional relationship. That doesn't mean you can't be friendly. That doesn't mean you can't talk about things with them. Depending on the nature of your, individual relationship, you might talk more or less about personal things, and you might talk more or less about hardships and things like that. And still, I remind you, this is a professional business partnership above all else. And so everything you do needs to be with the underlying kind of core foundation in mind that you are both there to serve the needs of your business, which is your acting career and the progression of that. And I think the very last thing I'll say on either finding a new agent or on building on the relationship that you currently have with your agent is please treat it with curiosity, treat it with wonder and awe, and allow yourself to be delighted and surprised. Allow yourself to assume the very best possible outcome. Allow yourself to believe in that other person or those other people's absolute best. Allow people to show up for you. Allow them the space to be human beings for sure, but allow the process of finding an agent, allow the process of having an agent to be one that you can evolve within, that you both can evolve within. Again, when I met my agent 3 years ago, we had 2 meetings before we kind of decided to go for it and officially partner up. And it's funny because at that time, my agent was an associate agent. So they had their own list, but their list had actually been given to them by an agent who had left, who they were the assistant of. And he was looking to start building up his own clients. And I was one of the people that he was bringing in of his kind of own accord to mesh with the list that he'd been given. Anyway, fast forward 3 years. And he is now one of the directors of the agency. He didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming, And while we've been together, at the time, I was very TV heavy. I'd done a lot of theatre in my career, but not so much on the high end side of things. But he and I have since done the National Theatre and the West End. And so we just don't know where anything's going to go. We don't know who people are going to become. We don't know who we are going to become. But I think treating this whole experience with curiosity and wonder and awe makes it so much more enjoyable than desperation and fear. And if it doesn't work exactly like this, then this either means something about me and about the industry and about what's possible for me, or that I'm doomed, right? That there's no point and that I should just quit. I think if we keep strangling and suffocating things, they're just really unpleasant to live. It's just really unpleasant to experience, right? And it doesn't really beget having the kind of career that I know you want to have, that I know you're destined for, that you might not believe you're destined for, but I know you are destined for. So, curiosity, wonder, and awe, that is the task. And speaking of tasks, your action plan. I just want you to write 3 things, just 3 things that your ideal agent partnership, and the language is very important here, so make sure you write this down the way that I'm saying it. 3 things that your ideal agent partnership would either do for you and your career or would have, so that might be a certain communication style. It might be a certain contacts. And I want you to be specific if you're going down the contacts route. If you, in fact, be specific with all of it. What is the communication style? What is the contacts that you feel you need to move up to that next level? Maybe it's a strategic plan, right? Whatever it is for you, write 3 things down, and whatever stage you're in, whether you're improving the relationship that you have with your current agent or you are seeking new rep, I want you to approach it with those 3 things in mind. So write them down so you've got clarity on what they are, and then move through the process that you're moving through with wonder, with awe, and with those 3 things in mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know what? The agent relationship is so deeply personal. It's so deeply personal. Every relationship I've had with my agents up until now, and including this one, have been completely different. And they've served different needs that I've had at different points in my career. And they've all been in their own ways perfect. And aside from this one right now, kind of flawed in certain ways, and that's all fine, right? Because none of that means anything about me. But what it does mean is that you're just trying to find what's best for you at any given moment, and you're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to search again. You're allowed to express your needs. You're allowed to ask questions and ask for clarity and ask for whatever you need to keep moving forward. Nothing is permanent and everything is okay. You know, everything is just okay if you let it be. I think we often suffer in this area of our careers because we have ideas about how it should be. And when I say that, I don't mean, you know, what would feel good for me. I mean, it's only good enough if. I'm only good enough when. And I don't think that that is the right way to approach this. I also think the most attractive client to any agent is the one who knows who they are, who knows what they want, who trusts and believes in themselves, who's going to show up and do the work expertly when called upon, whether that is for auditions or for jobs. I think we have to be responsible for our side of the street. And I think that when we can do that, we become unbelievably attractive to agents. And also we allow and we empower them to also do the same. And then it becomes an adult, mature, and really efficient and effective relationship. And isn't that just what we all want? Isn't that just what we all want so much? And what we deserve? Absolutely. And there's enough of them for all of us. There really is. There's enough of them for all of us. And if you don't believe me, go on the PMA website and download their list of all of the agencies that are registered with the PMA. And then bear in mind that every single one of those agencies has multiple agents, plural, right? There are tons of agents. There are tons of agents. There is absolutely the right agent out there for you. And I think if you approach it in a slightly different way, you're going to have a much better time finding your person, your soulmate agent. Now, as I was saying earlier, if you want to hear more about how I navigate my personal agent relationship, as well as the rest of my career in real time, as I'm moving through it daily, weekly, you know the deal, then please do join the Outtakes membership. That is my audio drop membership full of all the BTS of me doing this thing day in and day out and taking you along with me for the ride with all the lessons and all the insights and all the things that will help you also to navigate your own career. I would love to have you in there. I would love to take you on the journey with me. I would love to stay connected. So please do join if you feel called to. And I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. This has been absolutely gorgeous. I'm so grateful for your time and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. In the meantime, please remember that I am rooting for you. I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know things can get better for you. I know you're already doing a really great job and I'm sending you all the love in the world. I will see you very soon. Mwah.